Taurus, welcome to your monthly reading. Let's get started and see what messages we have for Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the month of January. And Happy New Year to everyone. Let's get started and see what messages we have for Taurus. Ooh, okay, Taurus. We've got the Moon card and the Four of Swords. Let's see what's on the bottom. Six of Pentacles. Very interesting. Four of Swords and the Moon card bring in a lot of themes around reflection, going within, trying to recover and heal something here in the Four of Swords by bringing our mind into a more still place where we're able to really reflect and understand where we've come to. Fours to me are very reflective energies. There are moments where in order to understand where we've been in the initial cycle, we need to pause and reflect. The moon certainly carries that theme. Seeing these two come out together is very fitting. The moon adds a bit of a different energy to it, where this reflection may be really highlighting where there may be some fears or some anxieties or some doubts, some areas where we need to push in and really be vulnerable here, being very sort of having an unjudgmental reflection around ourselves. That the moon is guiding you inwards, and so is this Four of Swords. So Taurus, it's time to do some reflecting, which is very fitting actually. And this Six of Pentacles on the bottom makes me wonder if for some of you this is hitting relationships, and for some of you this may be hitting your work life, where you may be looking and trying to sort of make some adjustments around how you're being of service. What are you putting out into the material world? And is it time to sort of reflect on that path as it may be evolving and changing and transforming when we see the moon card? So for some of you, Taurus energy here is shifting. There may be a shift that's bringing up some fear within you. And the Four of Swords is trying to say, hold that mind still and don't allow yourself to start thinking from a place of lack. Rather, the question that you might be guided here to reflect on is, how can I be of service in a way that is in alignment with the transformation that I'm feeling happening within? So very interesting, Taurus. Let's see, what's the challenge here? The Magician. Yeah, with the Queen of Swords. So there really is a heavy emphasis here on going within to ask even, who am I now? And what does this current version of me in the present moment desire to create? And do I have a shift that I need to make within that concept of self that I'm holding in that who am I question, know thyself energy of the Queen of Swords? And is that I am statement changing here with the Magician? That's such a powerful words, the I am. And what you're continuing in that speech, that dialogue about self in the inner conversation and the outer conversation as you talk about yourself with others, really has quite a bit of power. So it feels like, Taurus, you're sort of getting this message right away that it's time to reflect on that and to go within. You've got so many cards here already pointing in that direction, where the answers you seek are within, not without. And that there may be a lot of shift and transformation that's triggering some fear within you. But this Four of Swords is saying, I've got you. Hold still and hold fast to the I am statements. Become more conscious and aware of those concepts that you're holding about yourself as they form your outer reality and how you're feeling about yourself. Let's see what's rising to the top here. Page of Swords. You are starting to create a new sort of perspective here with the Page of Swords. There's a catalyst trying to bring in a new awareness for you. And I love that the Page of Swords is holding his sword so close to his chest, because with this Six of Wands even, this is an energy that says, maybe I should formulate this within before I start talking about it. Holding the sword close to your chest is almost this sort of a visual representation for me that says I don't need to talk about this with others right now. And the Six of Wands is kind of confirming that same vibration, saying if I'm looking for external confirmation or validation, then I'm truly not going within to connect. I'm looking in the outer world to understand. And I mean, there is some valid point there in the sense that the outer world is a mirror for us. So if we're looking in the outer world to understand ourselves, we may get something from that. But these cards are really saying, even with this in reverse, that we're not going to get the truth that way. We're going to get a reflection. We're going to get the mirror image of that. We're going to see whatever it is we're holding within ourselves expressed out. And so why not go within and do the energy there? Because really that's the driver is the energy within, not the energy outside. That's the reflection. So it's very interesting, you know, instead of looking in the pond to see your reflection, why not go within and look there? Because the pond can only show you what is really within, if that makes sense. So this idea of sort of not prematurely discussing things with people that may be feeling like fears or doubts, because then we're sort of casting, you know, that energy as it's like we're evoking it, we're casting it, we're saying those truths that we're feeling, but if they're grounded in this energy that's transforming, it may be premature to be talking about it. At the root, Six of Cups in reverse. Wow, there's really no going back here. Something here, Taurus, for you is wrapped up. It really feels like a cycle is complete and you're starting a new one. Likely in 2024, you started to feel the end, the shift of whatever cycle you had been in, and now it's time to start, you know, pulling in the new cycle, and everything is created already. And so we're seeing the Magician as you're manifesting something that's already been created, and it starts with looking maybe at the Six of Cups in reverse at the bottom, by looking at where am I still moving towards things that don't feel like I'm in alignment with them anymore. And maybe I'm hanging on to them because of the emotional sort of attachment, the nostalgia, the sentimentality, the idea that it did once serve me quite well. And now it's just no longer my path. And if you're still moving towards it, even though you sort of have that feeling, it may be feeling very uncomfortable, which is why this moon is here saying it's time to move through the discomfort, the fears, the doubts, and to move into something that feels like I am sitting in a new concept of self, and therefore the outer reality must align with that new I am, that new belief, right? Okay, let's have a look at the recent past here. Yeah, Seven of Swords with strength. Something within yourself has been really either looking for a shortcut, or almost your thoughts have been misleading you. So this seven, you know, sometimes the Seven of Swords brings up energy around others, but this seven feels like it's within. It feels like Taurus may be saying, I can't do something, I'm no good at something. You know, it's almost like you're taking this transformation personally, in a sense that says something's wrong with you, or you're not good enough anymore to do something, instead of just seeing that it's time for a change. And the Inner Strength card coming out with that gives me this feeling that says your confidence is getting affected by these beliefs that you're holding. So if you're still moving towards things that don't feel like they're in alignment, because you're feeling like, well, this is who I am, this is my identity, this Seven of Swords could really be coming up to sort of show you that the thoughts you're carrying about what serves you and what feels like it's in balance for you are lying. You're feeding yourself some beliefs and thoughts that are not encouraging your strength to transform. Something here feels like you may be trying to force something to still work for you, when it doesn't feel natural anymore. And you might need to have the inner strength here to really shift those beliefs and move in a different direction. Something is no longer for you, Taurus, and that's okay. You are not defined by what you do. You know, it can be such a tricky ground when, especially, you know, we saw that Six of Pentacles. Makes me think for some of you, this involves literally what you do for a living. And you may be so strongly identifying yourself with that as who you are. And now it's time to really look at the truth of who you are. That the truth of who you are is not what your occupation is. And wow, it just feels like the whole concept of self is shifting here. Five of Pentacles in reverse. There's your turning point. I love seeing the Five of Pentacles in reverse. That is a turning point. There's the Three of Wands in reverse as well on the bottom, suggesting that you're not dreaming big enough about something. And if you can really start to see the potential in a shift moving forward, you're going to get a turning point in the material world. I wonder if for some of you, this is really a shift in what you're thinking about what's possible for you in your career, in your money, in your resources, in your health, in your, you know, what can I achieve in the material world? And there's a turning point that's possible here, but you've got to change something within that I am. That concept that you're holding of self has to change. And you may need to even go back to something here that, you know, Six of Cups in reverse can take us pretty far back into the past to say, I wonder when I planted the seed that said this was all I could do, or this was all I'm good at, or this is all that's possible, and how that's affecting how you're feeling about this change. There's a turning point happening here. Seven of Cups. Time to start using that imagination to dream of the sort of abundance and prosperity that you can achieve. I love the Nine of Pentacles. This beautiful lady is at home in her garden and she is surrounded by wealth. She's wearing her nightgown, which always makes me think that she has some kind of source of passive income where she's able to be at home, comfortable. Her walls are nice and high as well, so she has some new boundaries here. But, you know, the strongest energy I'm feeling from this Seven of Cups and this Nine of Pentacles is that it's time to start imagining from the end point. This may be your goal. And so it may be that instead of thinking about how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? And when is it going to happen? Leave the how and the when out. Just focus on what it is and put yourself there in your imagination. Put yourself at the end point where it's already done. And you don't have to sort of think about how it happened. That's where we need to bring stillness in. We just need to feel the feeling of it already being done. And that will allow it to sort of click where the outer reality will realign itself and reorganize itself and redirect things so that this turning point for you shows up. This is an inner shift, Taurus. This is an inner shift. If you're trying to change the outer without the change in the inner, you're going to find it to be very, very frustrating. And it could really affect your confidence. So interesting. Four of Pentacles coming out as what is the outer shift. I need to shift within to remove this feeling of lack and scarcity. So there is a shift happening. I like the alignment of seeing the 4 here and the 5 here. So if I can release my lack and scarcity concept, I can experience a shift here that feels like a turning point. But in order to do that, there it is again. What is the thought process here? 7 to the 8. You are binding yourself into a place of restriction with this 8 of Swords. And the antidote to this overwhelmed energy where the mind is struggling, I can't help but think that you're focused on the how here. And that is creating a fear of scarcity and lack for you, which is where we need to somehow bring this mind into stillness, Taurus, so that you can really reflect on shifting those beliefs. moving through what might be feeling like a fear of lack and scarcity. And so that you're not, again, I mentioned this in the Aries reading, this idea that the printer's always printing. Whatever you plant in that fertile, fertile ground of the subconscious, you will experience. The printer will print it for you. You're programming more of this than you may believe, Taurus. And you're getting such a strong message to shift the inner to see a shift in the outer. Temperance in reverse. Yeah, there's a lack of balance and harmony, and maybe this Justice card in reverse saying I might be putting more of a blaming energy. I might be complaining and blaming rather than allowing myself to see that I'm the creator. I'm the architect of my reality. And temperance in reverse, there may be a need here to really not focus so much on timing and trying to force something to happen, letting it fall into place rather than forcing it into place. Not feeling like we need to point our finger out, but rather look within to say, what am I doing, thinking, feeling that is contributing to my lack of fulfillment, my lack of balance, my lack of alignment? That temperance card in reverse can really feel uncomfortable, where we need to bring something into balance. We may be doing something in excess and it's not actually serving us. It's not keeping us accountable. Somehow we may be projecting how we're feeling and saying it's because of this and it's happening out here. Wow. You're sort of getting a very strong message here, Taurus, to go within. 5 of Cups. You're so disappointed here. Something has really let you down, but it really feels like it's time to put in a new set of boundaries around where we are focused. 5 of Cups, if we dwell here for too long, man, oh man, does that bring our energy down into, shame, guilt, fear, that loss of the energy that allows us to turn around and focus on filling up our cup. You may be sitting in a very strong energy of disappointment right now, Taurus, and that's really keeping you out of balance. So this is a really great time to do something to change how you're feeling as quickly as possible, okay? When I think about that message, it brings me to Abraham Hicks, where a lot of the channeled information is around bring yourself to a better feeling thought right away. Don't let yourself sit in the feeling that comes with thinking in a way that it's like your thoughts and your perspective, like I said earlier, they're creating an energy that is keeping you down, is keeping you in a place that says, nothing's going to work out. I'm so disappointed at how things have been going, especially it feels like around money and career. And now I need to establish some intentional shifts within so that I'm being really deliberate about what I'm focusing on, so that I'm not bumming myself out and thinking that things are lost. Really trying to find a higher vibration to sit in. Truth be told, and the fates coming out. Isn't that interesting? This fates card always brings me to a feeling that says I may be thinking that I can't shift something, that I may be focused on something as being permanent, that it's not going to change. This is it, and seeing it come out with the truth be told makes me feel like we're getting this confirmation that whatever assumption you hold, even if it's false, whatever assumption you hold, even if it's false, will form into your outer reality. It will form into fact. It will become the truth. Whatever you hold as truth will become truth. And seeing the higher power card on the bottom of the deck almost makes me, focus on this magician energy that says, if you know that to be the case, then bring yourself into a higher focus, one that feels more like, it's not just positive thinking, because positive thinking and affirmations without incorporating how it feels isn't really going to move things too much. You've got to get into the feeling. You need to bring it down to bringing in the feeling of the new belief. Feeling really is the secret. And, seeing the higher power card with the fates makes me think that your guides, your higher self, that the divine, that spirit, source energy that we're all connected to will fulfill whatever you believe is true. So why not focus on something that feels more aligned to the outcome you desire than focusing on what may be keeping you in this unbalanced low vibration where you're focusing more on the losses than the opportunities. Very interesting. I'm going to leave it at that for you, Taurus. Thank you so much for joining me. And I'm sending you so much love and light, my friends. Hope to see you again soon for the next reading. Take care.